This wasn't a scene from a horror movie. It was real. I never believed in demonic lovers. I thought it was just another urban legend, a myth to scare the weak-hearted. But that was before I met her, the genie from hell who fell in love with me. It all started on a cursed night. I was alone in my room, mindlessly scrolling through my phone. The clock had just struck 3 a.m. and the silence was suffocating. The only sound was a slow, rhythmic hum of my ceiling fan. Then, without warning, a strange coldness filled the air as an unseen door had opened to another realm. A faint scent of sulfur lingered in my nostrils. I was alone, or so I thought. A warm breath touched the back of my neck, followed by a whisper, soft yet terrifying. "I finally found you." My blood turned to ice. I spun around, but no one was there. Only my reflection stared back at me from a mirror. But then, something was wrong. The reflection wasn't mine. Two burning red eyes glared at me from the glass. A sinister smile formed on a face that wasn't my own. My chest tightened. I wanted to move, to scream, but my body refused to obey. And then, from the depths of the mirror, a pale hand emerged. Slowly, a slender figure stepped out, her long black hair cascading like a waterfall of shadows. She was beautiful in the most terrifying way. Her eyes glowed with dark fire. Her lips curled into a smile that was both seductive and menacing. She moved closer, her voice a haunting melody that echoed like 1,000 whispers. "You are mine, you always have been, and you always will be." Her cold breath brushed against my lips, sending a shiver down my spine. My mind screamed, "Run!" But my heart beat to a different rhythm, as if something deep inside me, something I didn't understand, was responding to her. Who was this genie? Why did she choose me? Was this love or a curse I could never escape? Do you dare to uncover truth? Part 2, she's watching me. But can I escape her love? I should have run. I should have done something. Anything, but my body was frozen in place. My heart pounded like a war drum. My breath shallow. My fingers numb as I clutched my phone, like it was my last lifeline to reality. The genie took another step forward, her bare feet not touching the floor. She floated, her presence bending the air around her, distorting reality itself. The mirror behind her shattered into 1,000 pieces. Yet instead of falling, the shards hovered in midair, reflecting twisted, nightmarish versions of myself. "You don't remember, do you?" she whispered, tilting her head with an eerie curiosity. I shook my head. "Remember what?" Her smile widened, revealing sharp, glistening fangs. "Not human teeth. Not normal. You called me long ago. You were mine before you were even born." I wanted to scream, but the air in my lungs felt heavy, thick, as if invisible hands were squeezing my throat. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. And then, in an instant, she was right in front of me. Her cold fingers traced the side of my face. The touch sent a wave of heat through my body, the sensation both terrifying and intoxicating. My mind fought against it, but my body betrayed me. "I have waited centuries for you." Her voice was silk, laced with poison. "And now you'll never leave me." Her lips hovered inches from mine, the scent of fire and ash clinging to her. My pulse quickened, not just from fear, but from something deeper, something primal. Then, she leaned in and whispered something into my ear. And that's when everything went black. When I woke up, I was no longer in my room. Where was I? Who was she? And why did I feel like I belonged to her? Part 3, bound to her. But was it love or a curse? I woke up to the scent of burning incense and something else. Something ancient. Something wrong. The air was thick, suffocating, filled with the echoes of whispers I couldn't understand. My body felt light, like I was floating, yet my limbs wouldn't obey me. I forced my eyes open. I wasn't in my room anymore. The walls were made of black stone, etched with glowing red symbols pulsing like they were alive. A crimson mist curled along the ground, shifting and twisting like living shadows. There was no ceiling, only an endless dark void stretching above me, swirling with streaks of green and gold lightning. I tried to move. I couldn't. Then I saw her. She stood before me, No longer a ghostly figure emerging from my mirror. Here, she was real. More real than anything I had ever seen. Her long black hair flowed around her as if moved by an unseen force. Her red eyes burned brighter than before, and now I could see her true form. Horns curling from her temples, runes glowing across her bare arms, and a jagged black crown resting upon her head. She wasn't just a genie. She was a queen of hell. "You're awake," she said, her voice like a melody played in reverse. "I was afraid you wouldn't survive the transition." Transition? I looked down at myself. My clothes were gone, replaced by a dark robe woven from something that shimmered like liquid shadows. Strange symbols were carved into my skin, glowing green like embers beneath my flesh. "What have you done to me?" My voice cracked, barely above a whisper. She smiled, stepping closer, her fingertips grazing my chest, tracing one of the glowing marks. A shiver ran through me, not from fear, but from something else, something I didn't want to name. "I didn't do this," she said softly. "You did." My breath hitched. "Liar." She chuckled, circling me like a predator inspecting its prey. "You called me, remember? You whispered my name in the dark. You played with forces you didn't understand. And now..." She leaned in, her lips brushing against my ear. "You're mine." My head spun. I never called her. I never summoned anything. But then, memories I didn't recognize began to surface. Visions of fire, a name spoken in desperation, a deal sealed in blood. Had I? No, it wasn't possible. Was it? Had I truly summoned a queen of hell? Or was this all a dream I would never wake up from? Part 4. The Hellbound Lover. You can't escape love, especially when it comes from hell itself. The air was thick with the scent of burning flesh. My own. I ran, but the ground beneath me twisted and writhed like a living thing, shifting with every desperate step I took. The sky above was a swirling mass of crimson and black, lightning flashing like veins of fire in an endless void. And behind me she was coming. A whisper slithered through the darkness, wrapping around my mind like a serpent. "You can't run from me. My love, you never could." Lilith. Her name was a curse, a promise, a chain wrapped around my soul. I turned for just a moment, and there she was, floating effortlessly above the shattered ground, her black gown billowing as if caught in an unseen storm. Her eyes burned like molten gold, fixed on me with a hunger that sent ice through my veins. But it wasn't just hunger, it was possession. She didn't chase. She didn't need to. This was her world, and I was already caught. Ahead, the temple loomed like a decaying beast, its entrance yawning open, pulsing with a sickly red glow. The walls were covered in inscriptions that shifted and bled as I watched, symbols of power and torment older than time itself. Something inside that place was calling me, or maybe something inside me was calling it. A sudden, violent gust of wind slammed into my chest, knocking me to the ground. I gasped, tasting ash and blood. When I looked up, she was standing over me, her delicate fingers reaching for my throat. She smelled of fire and death and something sweet, something intoxicating. "Poor thing," she whispered, crouching beside me. "Did you really think you could leave me?" Her fingers traced my cheek, cold and searing all at once. My body trembled, not just from fear, but from something far worse. Recognition. A part of me belonged to her. A part of me always had. Behind her, the temple groaned, its doors stretching wider, revealing something that should not exist, something waiting for me. Lilith smiled. "Come, beloved," she purred. "Let me show you who you truly are." Part 5. The Hellbound Lover. Some truths should never be uncovered, especially when they are written in blood. The temple doors yawned wider, exhaling a thick, suffocating mist that coiled around my limbs like spectral hands. My body screamed for me to resist, to fight, to run, but my mind whispered something else. "You belong here." Lilith watched me with an amused smile, her golden eyes flickering like candle flames in the darkness. She extended a hand, her nails black as obsidian, glistening with something wet. Blood? Ink? or something far worse? I hesitated. Still resisting, she mused, tilting her head. Do you even remember why you ran? Why you spent your entire life feeling like a stranger in your own skin? The mist thickened, my vision blurred, and then I saw it, a memory that wasn't mine. Or maybe it was a crimson altar, carved from black stone, pulsing with a sickening, rhythmic beat, like a living heart. Figures in shadows stood around it, their faces hidden beneath twisted masks, whispering a language that made my skull throb. At the center of the altar, a child, a boy, his wrists bound in silver chains, his eyes my eyes. I staggered backward, choking on the realization. This was me. Lilith's laughter slithered through the air, rich and intoxicating. Now you remember, don't you? She purred, stepping closer, her voice dripping with something between cruelty and affection. You were never meant for their world. You were always mine. The ground trembled beneath us, and the temple doors let out a low, hungry groan. The symbols on the walls pulsed like dying stars, whispering secrets I wasn't ready to understand. But the worst part? I could feel it now. Something inside me awakening. Something old. Something monstrous. Lilith leaned in, her lips just inches from mine. Shall we finish what they started? She whispered. And in that moment, I realized I was never meant to escape. I was meant to return. Part 6. The Hellbound Lover. The past was never buried. It was only waiting to be reborn in fire. The temple pulsed, its walls shifting like the inside of a breathing beast. The mist thickened, curling around my feet, dragging me forward. The whispers grew louder, no longer just voices, but memories unraveling before my eyes as film played in reverse. I saw shadows moving in the dark, figures in robes, chanting my name. My name, not as it is now, but as it was centuries ago. A name lost to time, but never forgotten. Lilith's fingers brushed against my throat, cold and burning all at once. You feel it now, don't you? She murmured, her voice a lullaby laced with poison, the truth clawing its way back into your bones. I wanted to deny it, to fight it, but something deep inside me had already surrendered. I turned to face her, and for the first time, I didn't see just a demon, a tormentor, a nightmare that had wrapped itself around my soul. I saw something far worse. A lover, a queen, a curse I had once chosen. Lilith smiled, as if she could hear my thoughts. Maybe she could. Good, she whispered. Now come. She reached for my hand, and this time, I didn't pull away. As our fingers touched, the world around us shattered. The temple crumbled into fire and smoke. The sky above tore open like rotting flesh, revealing something beyond the stars, a darkness older than existence itself. And from that abyss, something reached back, not to harm me, to welcome me home. The voices in my mind weren't whispers anymore. They were screams of joy. Lilith leaned in, her lips brushing my ear. You were never their savior, she purred. You were always our king. And then I remembered that